transgressions you commit with your fellow gang members, developing blackmail on each other, and that keeps you because it's all perfectly balanced. You all have blackmail on each other. Wow, what a system. I mean, that sounds like freedom right there. Career path, you know. Well, I don't know. I agree, you know, drastic moves to live with other friends and family that gets you out of other situations. But dude, I think you're out of the frying pan into the frying pan with that one. You know, like, you're getting out of kind of petty crime. And like junior, we'll call them motorcycle aficionado associates. Okay, and what do you think that those affiliations just get built up with no expectations? Again, any benefit that you reap from endearing yourself, proving yourself to these people, will come back to haunt you, because that just means that they are negative, consider you, and push you to do the things they want you to do for them. Prove yourselves, use it for them. But that is just the same as any shitty job. You know, you're doing the hard work, making the boss rich. Like, that is, like, if that is a disgusting thing to do in a company or business, you know, construction company where, you know, three fucking hard workers get all the work done for the guy that, you know, drives the crew truck, pays your paychecks. What about like Tupperware lady? You know, that sells Tupperware and has like greener dinner parties, potluck parties, show the group of women how good her Tupperware is. And then she can get a few orders, from that, like, I don't know. Like, don't fool yourself. There's no more glamorous. It's just so cheesy. It's the same team building and extortion of employees and underlings philosophy and, even if you make it work for you and you come out kind of in the black ink, it's still not like, I don't know, you do things that are so much more powerfully meaningful in terms of you, your reputation, your style, it moves you this way, self-determinism in this way, and the underlying message of what it is you're all about, portraying that, because you are not all about doing nasty things for people. It's just so challenging and then it would enrich someone other than you and put you in danger of doing time, so the chicken shit bosses are gonna, exploit you and put you at risk. And you're someone, oh, I'm moving up in the world. Like, it's just like I'm saying that I know the Satanist philosophy. It's just an inverted, perfectly inverted or perfect mirror image of all the worst forms of Christianity. The ones that emphasize on, the ritual and the mythology, artificially created details to the leader, Jesus, is perfect. Take care of him as long as you submit yourself to him and work for him. He's gonna come, he's gonna look out for you, and everything's gonna be good in the end. Well, Randall says exactly the same thing about old Lucifer. He's like, he keeps his promises, and if you help him and you work for him, and you're loyal to him, and blah, 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 he'll come to you, he'll make sure that you reward you. All your efforts without you knowing exactly. You get careless. in your situation, you're maybe, I don't know, what do you call it? He'll put veneers on your teeth in your vagina. One of us always lies, and one of us always tells the truth. So then, based on your statement from the door knocker, the other one there, he always lies. I tell the truth. And then she has to sit there and figure that out. This day, that's like, you natives are all suffering from PTSD from the Big Death. intergenerational. And it gets worse every time, actually, because at first everyone just disappeared and everyone had a big, huge, empty hole in their life. But then the trauma from that turned into abuse, okay? Pretty high levels. No, I don't want to prejudice against natives, but I'm just saying they suffered from the way, natives fared during colonization and conquering. It wasn't great. It traumatized them and it fucked them up. And then that made them do more mean and aggressive, violent, abusive shit to even more people if they had any influence. And this just goes on and on, And it's like, part of this is what I was arguing with Trina, like, the reason that we should give even the pedophiles, okay, we all want to exterminate the pedophiles and a virtue signal about just how many of those people we have exterminated, because God, there's nothing else that you could do to a human life to destroy it for the rest of its life when it's a child. No, what about drinking while you're pregnant and having an FASD baby? I mean, that doesn't fuck up its life for the rest of its fucking life, does it? No, not at all. I mean, they live perfectly happy lives in group homes with other targets, like with Down syndrome or stuff like that. So, they get lumped into that. They have no future. Very hard to have families and children, careers, homes of their own, blah, 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 blah. But do we brag about how many people who drank when they were pregnant and popped out FASD babies? How many of those people we've killed? No, just the pedophiles. No, and I'm not making excuses for them, okay? But the pedophiles, 90% of them, it turns out, were abused as children themselves. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody that was abused as children themselves, not that 90% of them become pedophiles. That's not the same statistic. That's not correct. But the other way around is true. So, knowing that, don't cut that too slack. Based on how badly they were treated and traumatized, how do we then soften our anger against them just because of based on what they've been through and how common the pattern of repeating that is? I think it should be a little bit. Certainly we should try to give them a little bit of, special counseling and therapy to try to reduce that trauma, and as well as the likelihood of it being repeated by them. Because I don't know if you know, but trauma training like that, that's not what it's called, but Drama training is how all kinds of terrible things happen. It's how hostages become bonded to their captors, like in Stockholm syndrome. It's how, they create MK Ultra brainwash people. What do you think that brainwashing process is? It's the same thing that the priests of Egyptian religion used to traumatize people to create archetypes from their gods, like to create an Osiris, to create a whatever, to kind of act out their legends. Okay? That was all done through trauma, beatings, starvation, sleep deprivation, threat of rape, things like that. Trauma. Probably witnessing things like animal as a child, harm, mutilation, sacrifice, that's the toolkit for us. That's how they make these MK operatives. And that's why every time there's an assassination, it's a lone gunman no one's ever heard of before. But he's got years and years of contract work with the CIA, sketchy things, probably partially brainwashed themselves and then educated enough to carry that damaging program on, with others, such as who was taught to live tools and then use that to build his plans and family for refugees. Train them and get them to do MK Ultra psyop missions that were violent, like murdering the Sharon Tate by the way, Sharon Tate at that time was Roman Polanski's wife, and she was murdered by Manson family, and presumably that fucked up Roman Polanski. Oh, hey guys. Just look.
I used to be nothing. I didn't exist. I never had a bad day. Then you create me. I come into this world, the next thing I know, I'm doing yard work and dishes. I got chores, and then do your homework. When your homework's done, then you're grounded. Fuck you, cunt that had me without my consent. parents were alive today, I would sue them into poverty for having me against their will. Says the oppressor. They aren't bad people. They ate me out of nothing. They kicked me out when I was 18. Ugly and broke, I didn't have a strong closure for this special. You're conveniently dead before I can sue you. Wrong.
Was referred to as the spire. There's that clump of four columns from Tower 1 that seems to remain just a little bit after the rest and then turns to dust. I'm sort of expecting that is, you're suspicious that is right above where those 14 people survived. You thought they would refresh and looked up and saw blue sky. Here's Tower 1, Tower Park, and it peels away like chewing a banana. And look through these blue spires. That's about 700 feet tall. It's got to be pretty strong to be standing unsupported that tall. Here's Building 7, which is a 47-story building. It's like 650 feet tall, approximately. This has got to be over that. Here's a closer view, and then it starts to drop down kind of face. Here's the dust. Here's the dust. Here's the dust. How's it going to go straight down? Here's the dust. Here's the dust. Drop something? Okay, for argument's sake, let's pretend we do. Have a 700-foot portal drop. And then you clear that dust and dirt off back here. That's blue sky around that. That's not dust gradually